After years investigating crime, hitting the streets, interviewing witnesses, Detective BigBadShark found a new road to justice. Harvard Law School. BigBadShark, attorney at law, determined to make a difference. Experienced negotiator, exceptional interpersonal skills, objecting to injustice, facing fierce prey, defending justice, commanding respect from peers, knows how to find evidence, and knows just how to present it. BigBadShark, attorney at law, BBS law. Justice can't evade this shark.
Thank you. So they assured us that we would have some time together. Okay. First of all, I'd just like to say thank you so much for choosing BigBadShark, attorney at law. I am one of the best defense attorneys, and rest assured, I will do everything in my power to help you. This is about helping you. That is what I'm here for, okay? So know that.
Yes.
Now, the charges are pretty intense here.
A little bit, yeah.
What they have accused you of, and I am sure you have a valid explanation, is that you tried to blackmail an old granny to get her cancer medication. Okay. Now, I understand you were giving this lovely woman the care that she needed. Now, second of all, they said that after you blackmailed this woman, supposedly, which is really ridiculous considering you were providing her caregiver. They said that you hit her in the head with a lead pipe and she died. Now, obviously, with her demented state, and she was trying to repair the pipe under the sink when she hit her head. And because of the blood, that's what happened. So we just need them to understand that you provided care for her and you were a caregiver and not a murderer. Okay, you got that?
Yep.
This is a cut and dry case. I'm pretty clear on what you've explained to me. Have I missed anything?
No.
Oh, cool. Okay, awesome. So is there anything else that you can think of that we need to add to this?
Nothing.
Let's go. I have full confidence we'll be able to handle this case. Let's do this.
Mr. Shark,
Yeah.
you had some time to speak with your client in the back, yes?
I have. Yes, I have.
Order! Order! That means you all shut up because it's getting a little bit silly and I'd like that, but not during a case.
Okay, it's going to be
Let's
just
see.
fine. Okay.
People sitting
Your-
right.
Your Honor, is this jury and properly vetted by counsel?
Yes, it has.
Just making sure.
Make my life difficult, Miss BigBadShark.
Attorney BigBadShark, please. Your Honor. Okay.
Right, order in the court. Order in the court. Judge Ekron sitting to hear the crimes against Miss J.
Mr. Bailiff, would you please fetch...
Listen, I know you're innocent, and I'm going to get you off, okay?
Miss J, you are accused of the crime of blackmail. How do you plead?
Innocent.
Innocent. Very well. Silence, Mr. Hacker. I do not wish to hear from you again. I'm throwing my gavel at you. That means you know you're in trouble. Miss J, you are accused of one count of murder. How do you plead?
Innocent.
Innocent. Very well. Miss J has entered 2 pleas of innocence, so we shall be pushing this on, as I said, to a jury of your peers. You may return to take a seat next to your lawyers. Now, I am aware that Mr. Tartan and Miss Shark both have excessive experience in the courtroom and will join me in my chambers. Mr. CEO, stay here and make sure that nobody around. Jury members, you may feel free to chat whilst we're gone. If anybody touches my gavel, I'll kill you. With that, lawyers, if you can kind of come with me. Go along, Miss Shark. Lovely.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you so much for having me back in your courtroom again.
The accused allegedly beat the granny over the head with an iron bar, resulting in her death. So you guys happy to work with that?
I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I'm content with that. That will work.
Corey, you know the courtroom rules, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Any questions from the pair of you?
No, I think I'm good.
No, I'm happy.
Cool.
I'd like to file a complaint about his license, though. I do suspect.
My license?
Yeah, I got word from my assistants that maybe there's some issue with his license. I just want to put that out there. Maybe the court
Pay
clerks
attention to her. She's off a rocker.
can check into that.
Miss Shark, his license is very
All right, fine.
We shall
I'll take
return to
it.
the courtroom and begin the preparation. I know Miss Shark is a very accomplished lawyer who is fantastic at making
That's
her point,
right.
if not being reprimanded for being a very naughty girl. And Mr. Tartan is a very experienced wild card. A lawyer that, although I enjoy facing off against, I do not like because I just know he's going to pull something out which me over.
Tonight, as I will be calling it out.
They have no idea what they're
With
doing.
that in mind, I'm going to
Great.
now respectfully
We do.
request that the jurors keep a lid on it and start paying attention to.
So, yes, Order in the court, order in the court. Hello there, and welcome back to VR Courtroom. Judge Ekron sitting to hear the crimes against Miss J. Miss J has been accused of 2 crimes, one of blackmail and one of murder. She has pled innocent to both of these crimes. The jury will decide your fate based on the case that is presented before them. On the bailiff stand, I have Mr. Seo, who's a fairly experienced bailiff, and I know will do a good job for me. And I have Miss Skies, who is currently in the judging education school, so she will be shadowing me. On the prosecution stand today, we have Mr. Tartanrock, a very experienced lawyer who hates floppy disks, and Mr. Tyler, who has less experience in my own experience, but is not as thick as 2 rocks stuck together. On the defense side, there is only one lawyer, Miss Shark. Miss Shark is one of the most accomplished lawyers that I have come across, and genuinely one of the only lawyers I do not want to play against, because she does what I do. She talks so much that you f***ing lose. So I'm rather looking forward to the cases as are going to be presented. So with that in mind, I'm going to allow the prosecution to present their opening statement to the court. And Mr. Tartan, you have an excellent record of not pissing on the rug, so I'd appreciate it if you kept that excellent record up. Mr. Tartan, you may begin when you are ready.
Thank you, Your Honour. It is straightforward. My duty is going to expose why the accused, why Jamie not only tried to blackmail her dearly beloved, but also violently murdering her aunt.
It's okay, Jamie.
That's as simple as that.
You may take it. An interesting statement
all right.
presented there by the prosecution.
It's
Ms.
okay.
Shark, it is now your turn to present your opening statement to the court.
Your Honor, members of the jury, I will show the court today, without any doubt whatsoever, that what I have stated here is true and that my client is truly innocent of all of these charges and was simply doing her due diligence. Thank you so much, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Shark. Vastly appreciated, and thank you, lawyers, for your opening statement. I'm going to allow the defence to present their full and frank case first. So, Ms. Shark, I'm going to lend you the floor to present your full and frank case.
Here you will clearly see this right here. This is the badge that my client used in her day-to-day care of this lovely lady. Can you show me the neck evidence too? This is my client's policies and procedures book. You can see it clearly. This is taken from her policies and procedures that she was supposed to manage the medication. She has been falsely accused, which is unethical, clearly outside of the boundaries of the company's policies and procedures. So she followed the policies and procedures. Now, if you could kindly show me evidence number 3. Had my client actually been interested in blackmailing her patient for the medication, would she not have also wanted to take funds and valuables, which of course would be unethical in her company? But she did not, and she didn't take the lady's debit card. She didn't take any valuables whatsoever, nor did she even take the medication, you see. All right, Your Honor, the next evidence. This is the certificate of death, which clearly indicates that the patient died from impact to the head, not murdered by a lead pipe. She was injured by a lead pipe. Now, my client was in the process of providing care when the client was not taking her medication. She was in a confused state, thought that her caregiver was trying to take the medication. She's like, no, I'm trying to give it to you. She was confused, thought she heard a leaky faucet and went to repair the pipe. And in her old, frail state, she hit her head, and it was fierce, and unfortunately she perished. Now, Your Honor, I am not going to deny that my client was culpable.
Abstain.
She neglected to take care of her client and make sure that she got the medication needed and did not follow up with the doctor, but she is not guilty of murder, and she is not guilty of blackmail, Your Honor.
One moment, Ms. Shark. Mr. Tartan, your objection.
How can the sheer violence of the blow indicate that she stumbled upon it? This could be a blow that was so severe that it shattered skull. This is not a mere falling over it.
Your Honor, it was clear by her autopsy report. The doctors already considered this.
The autopsy report from the doctors have indicated that a kind of blow that was applied is not as such from falling over, but was most likely done from either falling from at least 10 feet or being struck by a physical blow. Carry on, Ms. Shark.
And we all know that that doctor could have been drinking when he did that autopsy report. It is entirely possible he could have made a mistake.
Go ahead with your objection, Mr. Tartan.
Of the good doctor's name, surely, Your Honor.
Yes, I will ask the jury to disregard the information that Ms. Shark has just put out. And Ms. Shark, I would like to remind you that once again in my court, such slanderous accusations can only be made by me, I'm afraid. So with that in mind, I'm going to ask you to retract the statements made about the doctor, who is indeed very fit and safe to do his job.
I retract the statements about the doctor.
Would you please? Thank you, Mr. Shark.
Begrudgingly.
You may carry on as you see
Thank you,
fit.
Your Honor. Thank you.
Begrudgingly taken into consideration.
Thank you, Your Honor. I appreciate that. Now, as I was saying, my client saw her when she struck her head on that pipe. She then took a tumble down the stairs. That may have further impacted the injury that she sustained from that original pipe. Now, it's amazing she didn't break anything else on that fall. Otherwise, it would have been clearly indicated on the death certificate. I am dumbfounded. My client is completely innocent of all charges. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your case, Mr. Shark. Mr. Shark. I am now going to offer the floor to Mr. Tartan and Mr. Tyler to present their full and frank case as they see fit.
Could I have evidence number D, please, first? Ladies and gentlemen, this is the police report and picture of the cadaver found at the crime scene. You will notice that the cadaver was found at the bottom of the stairs, contorted and badly damaged from an iron bar wound to the head. This was not known at the time until the autopsy, which we will come to in due course.
Object!
With your objection, Miss Shark.
You did state that the victim was found at the bottom of the stairs, correct? With multiple injuries. I just want the jury to be make sure that they are clear
at the
about
bottom
that.
of the stairs.
Yeah, So, that impact from more than 10 feet could have occurred at that point. Go ahead. I retract my objection.
Interesting point made out by the defence there. Although Miss Shark has also retracted it. But bear that in mind. You may carry on to Tartan.
The police report also indicates about the weapon, which we shall turn to eventually, and it will detail finally what was found upon the weapon. If we could turn to evidence number A, please, Your Honor. Behold, the iron bar used in the murder by this person right there.
Object, Your Honor.
Go ahead with your objection, Miss Shark.
He just accused my client. This is a trial by a jury.
Add the word alleged into your state. Allegedly murdered by the client of Miss Shark.
By all means, Your Honor. My apologies.
Thank you, Mr. Tartan. Thank you for your objection, Miss Shark. Carry on, Mr. Tartan.
As stated in the police report and evidence number D, the fingerprints on this pipe was found to be matching that of the accused.
Objection. She was the caregiver in the home. Her fingerprints are on everything.
Miss Shark, you do have to follow the objection rules, but I do find that is a valid objection.
My apologies, Your Honor. I get overzealous and I start getting a little flippant. I apologize.
That's fine.
On the base of the pipe on one end was the fingerprints of the accused. On the other end of the pipe was brain matter and skull from the deceased. That brings to the question, a carer whose sole duty is to look after the client, why is she manhandling the pipe work around the house?
Objection!
Go ahead, Miss Shark. I was going to overrule it, but I'll allow it.
If you look clearly in the policies and procedures, it does define other work as necessary, so it is included in the job duties.
It is awfully convenient that the jobs that was required happen to be a murder weapon.
Mr. Sear, would you please fetch the evidence off stand number 2 for the defence? I'd like to have a look at it myself.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bird. Right, let's have a look at this.
I've got you. It's fine.
Yes, this is how toucans read.
It's gonna be
Right, so it is noteworthy that there is a policy in here that says to effectively do the job, the member of staff may need to handle pieces of equipment that would not normally come into their forte, like pipe work, pottery, crockery, or dirty underwear. Therefore, it is believable that she would have made contact with the pipe at some point.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Carry on with your case, Mr. Tartan. Mr. Sear, you may take that back to the evidence room, please.
Evidence number B would be the autopsy report upon the poor victim.
Thank you.
The report also had one interesting find on the body. That under the nails of the victim showed DNA matching the accused. What could only be described by the report as a frenzied attack of self-defense.
Objection, Your Honor.
Go ahead with your objection, Ms. Shark.
He's assuming that it was in defense. This client was taking care of that patient, and she had been combative earlier about the pills. Yes, she had clawed my client.
Interesting point that this wasn't brought up during your case, but I will leave that as it is for the jury to make of that as they will.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Carry on with your case, Mr. Tartan.
See, the piece of evidence that I intended to start with at the beginning, but unfortunately I'm dyslexic.
Objection, Your Honor. This incompetence is... I can't believe we're... I'm sorry.
Overruled. Carry on, Mr. Tartan.
This is the evidence upon blackmail. As we can see, as the client's novelty pill container, the hand grenade in the center of the picture, and to the right of that, you will notice a camera. This was the camera used for the naughty blackmail. It contained nudie photos. I say again, naked photos.
Objection!
Abstained. Carry on,
That
Mr. Tartan.
she had taken of her, and in order to blackmail her into giving the pills, she said she would release this photos of her vulnerability, that she had the means and opportunity to do so as her carer, to the paparazzi of all people.
All right, Miss Shark, you may make your objection from earlier.
Yeah, this is this is laughable. This is laughable. I mean, granny porn. This is clearly in her line of duty, taking pictures of her skin, and it was obviously misconstrued. And you're dirty and filthy minded when you're looking at that kind of photo and thinking that kind of stuff. And that's just disgusting. Your Honor, I am repulsed.
Miss Shark, I appreciate you have very strong emotions on the feeling considering your profession as it stands, but I would prefer that you did not insult your opposing lawyer
Sorry,
in
Your
relation
Honor.
to what his sexual preferences may be.
I
I'd like you
apologize.
to apologize to Mr. Tartan, please.
Mr. Tartan, Attorney
That's
Tartan
okay,
Rock,
I'm fairly incompetent.
I apologize for my outburst. Please excuse me. I
Very
had
well.
no
Jury
reason.
is to take that
Thank
into
you.
consideration, but is not to consider Mr. Tartan an old granny perv. You
Sorry.
may carry on, Mr. Tartan. Thank you for your objection, Miss Shark.
Thank you.
That concludes the evidence of the prosecution.
Interesting cases that have been presented by the lawyers here. The jury has been instructed on what to disregard and what to pay attention to. Now we are going to move on to our closing statement. So, Miss Shark, if you'd be kind enough to take us centre, prepare to present your closing statement to the court.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Your Honor. I appreciate your time, and of course, to the jury, I appreciate your time and your patience. I don't have to sit here and rehash everything that you've heard already. You already know the drill. You know what you've heard. You already know what has happened here. It's clear. My client has a badge. She has a policy and procedures. She has a job to do. This was an elderly lady. There's no paparazzi interested in that kind of photograph. What kind of leverage is that? Seriously. Like, if she wanted to blackmail her, all she had to do is just leverage her heart pills, okay? We're talking about pain meds, even that. Any of that could have been leveraged. She was in charge of them. Think about it. Wait, I don't need to tell you to think about it because you already know the truth. And judging by the performance today with some of, and I'm not knocking learning disabilities. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that it's clear through the lack of organization and some of the objections that were maintained throughout this case that the facts are adding up, that my client is innocent. And I don't need to tell you that. You already know it. Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you for your closing statement, Miss Shark. Nice to get a little jabbing at the lawyer there, but so be it. It's relevant to your closing statement. Mr. Tartan, Mr. Tyler, I'm going to allow you to come up and present your closing statement to the court.
Your Honor, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I may be a humble out-of-space dyslexic space dog. I know I said space twice, but you have to emphasize it in my profession. But this is a pretty clean and cut case. We know she had a procedure to follow, but that doesn't stop the fact that she was after the drugs. We know she had the procedures to follow, but that didn't stop her from taking the lead pipe and getting violent when her ways were not met. And as to this whole paparazzi thing, well, of course, it's the internet. What do you think? People are not going to be interested in that sort of smut to try and discredit her. No, you ladies and gentlemen of the jury, this is a pretty clean and cut case. I agree with my worthy opponent of that. Thank you, Your Honor.
And in that case, thank you, lawyers. Your jobs are done. You may go and cry into your coffee pots. Jury members, do you understand the duties that you must now perform?
Doesn't cry.
Lovely. Right. Everybody else is to remain here until the jury returns.
Perfect.
In case the
Hi,
case
Bobby.
goes wrong, here's a gun. Fight your way out.
Wow. No, Jay. Listen, we've got this.
Say again,
Okay, we've got this.
I'm so stuck.
See? This is the kind of incompetence we're dealing with. Don't recommend Tartan Rock attorney
Why are we
services,
so-
okay?
Why are you so personally mean?
I'm sorry. I'm just a
I'll
vicious
be
shark.
honest here. Like,
Chop, chop.
Naked grandma, yeah.
hey,
Listen, it doesn't help the
sounds
case when
nice.
you're laughing about it right now, okay? That's not going to help right now. You don't laugh about that,
unprofessional.
okay? Professional. Look at, she's just in hysterics right now. That's how she responds to stress. Her future is on the line right now, and so
Question.
she is just having a difficult time trying to grasp.
you're gonna basically let Tartan Rock win. You're gonna come back when the judge comes back in. You're gonna say everything he said is a lie.
There's no
No.
need for that.
I've got this on camera. I'm being held hostage. Listen, I am the big bad shark. You don't want to do this. On the table. Okay.
Thank you kindly.
Thank you. All
I
right.
am the only one in this courtroom who has hold people hostage. Right. Welcome back, everybody, to VR Court. Room. The jury has returned to us, so I will turn over to them. Miss Patch, as the jury foreman, has the jury come to a verdict on the charge of blackmail?
Yes, Your Honour.
Was the verdict a unanimous decision?
Yes, it was, Your Honour.
Can you please reveal to the court the verdict of the accused on one charge of blackmail? Very well. Ms. J, you have been found innocent of the crime of blackmail. Has the jury come to a verdict on the charge of murder?
Yes, Your Honour.
Was the decision unanimous?
Yes, it was, Your Honour.
Very well. Miss Patch, would you please reveal to the courtroom the verdict on Miss J in relation to murder? Guilty. Very well.
What?
Miss J, you have been found guilty of the crime of murder by a jury of your peers.
We're going to appeal this. We're going to appeal this. This is my first loss. I've never lost a
Miss
case.
Shark! You have lost many cases, Miss
That's
Shark,
not
and you
true.
have been censored for such behaviour in the courtroom before.
Not true.
I will speak to the bar about your jury again if you keep up these outbursts in my courtroom.
Suck my lady.
Miss Shark,
This is
Miss Shark, the last thing you want. Mr. CEO, would you please escort Shark to the jail cell where she may come? Do it. Do it.
This is insane! I'm done with this shit! This is ridiculous!
Miss J, you have been found guilty of the crime of murder by a jury of your peers. I sentence you to spend the rest of your life working with old people. Incontinent with no kind of health and safety gear in any way, shape, or form.
I need to get out of here!
Yeah, BigBadShark, I'm coming to get you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Take me where I need to go.
Funny thing, Shark, you won't have to do the time if they don't have the records.
Good job, Dito. Get rid of that. Come on, let's go.
This courtroom will be much faster for this case because BigBadShark is here.
I doubt that. I doubt that entirely.
Your Honor, I'd like to appeal on behalf of my client. I want to appeal.
One, you know,
This was a shitty case from the get-go.
Oh, Miss Shark, you're as sore a loser as I ever remember.
That's right.
Well played. You're very scary.
I am a very scary shark. Don't worry. BigBadShark, attorney at law.